talks about a woman soldier that was in a very, very small unit of fighters, and she she became pregnant. And this is one of many cases that he talks about that are happening. He says if you go out to the intersections and you see wherever there are male and female soldiers put in the same intersection, you'll see that the level of garduit, the level of being on the lookout goes down tremendously. He talks about the Rabbi Benny Machluf. That's who we're talking about here. He speaks about, right now he's talking about the present chief rabbi of the entire IDF, the Israel Defense Force. His name is Rabbi Ayal Karim. He says he's a tremendous scholar and he's a very good person, but he's a very, very soft kind of person, and we need somebody that's going to be strong like, strong like a lion here. And this is unbelievable. Listen to what he says. What happened was that the chief rabbi of the IDF, of the Israel Defense Forces, received an order by the chief of staff of the army that he is not allowed to contact or consult the chief rabbi of Israel on any Jewish law issues. Can you imagine that? He's not allowed. This is like, the only I love that expression. The only democracy in the Middle East. I spoke about 15 minutes ago, I spoke about a woman, very righteous woman, 5 kilometers away from Tapuach in Rechelim. She has some website. She tells about what's going on in Judea and Samaria, all the dozens and dozens of daily attacks that you'll never hear about anywhere. And she was just interviewed by Channel 7, Arut Sheva, and she talks about how she and other people that post her website are being threatened by the Secret Service of Israel. She's being threatened for putting on news events. I mean, and this rabbi, the chief rabbi of the IDF, is threatened that he's not allowed to consult with any Jewish law matters with the chief rabbi of Israel. Man, like, who do you go to? Who do you talk to if you have a question? And it gets worse. Two very, very prominent rabbis in the religious Zionist community, Rabbi Shlomo Aviner and Rabbi Shmuel Eliyahu, they recently came out against these mixed units with men and women. And after they came out with their statements, after they went public, from that time on, there's an order now that they are not allowed into any of the army bases to visit soldiers, to encourage soldiers to, give a talk or to visit any of the bases once after they did this. Not only that, the Rabbi Eyal Karim, no, not to be messed up with Karim Abdul-Jabbar. No, I don't think there's any relation between Karim and Karim. But Rabbi Karim sent a text to all the rabbis of the army, the present rabbis of the army, that if they criticize the army, listen to this. This is a quote from Rabbi Benny Machluf. He's quoting that all rabbis in the army received a text message from the chief rabbi of the Israeli army, Rabbi Eyal Karim, that if they respond with any type of criticism against the army policies, they might find themselves without a job. You heard that right. The only democracy in the Middle East, if this is not a dictatorship, what's going on here, well, then I don't know what is. They asked Rabbi Machluf, who's giving this interview, who was the chief rabbi of the northern division of the army, if he's not afraid, why isn't he afraid? He says, listen, you have to speak the truth, even if you have to pay a price. So I'm speaking the truth. let's go on. Some more things that are happening in Israel. For the last couple of weeks, the Eruv, an Eruv is something that allows a Jew on the Sabbath to carry or to use a buggy for their children. So the last couple of weeks in two religious neighborhoods, one in Kiryat Yovel and the second in Beit Vagan, for the last couple of weeks, these communities have suffered that sometime during the Sabbath, people that are Jewish anti-Semites come by and they destroy the Eruv. So therefore, once they destroy it, a Jew is not allowed to carry it. This makes the Sabbath extremely difficult. You're not allowed to, you want to take your kids to visit grandparents, you can't put them in the buggy. This is problematic. So the vice mayor of Jerusalem, his name is Dov Kalmanovich. He lives actually, used to reside in Beit El, and he said the following, that the police have to come in here and do something. Why can't they put up cameras? Why can't they put up cameras and catch the perpetrators? He says of late, of the last couple of months, this is the words of Dov Kalmanovich, there have been extreme anti-religious elements responsible for hatred against religious Jews. So we have, in the state of Israel, we have very interesting phenomena of anti-Semites who happen to be of the Jewish persuasion. Going on to our situation. Recently, there was one of these tunnels that the Hamas in Gaza dug, an unbelievable tunnel. This tunnel touched upon three areas. It touched upon what they call Israel. It went into, of course, Gaza, and it also touched into Egypt. It was 180 meters. It was a certain place where it touched like three borders. They made this gigantic underground tunnel in order to attack Jews or to kidnap Jews. And Israel announced, listen to this, this is really amazing. Israel announced at 10 o'clock that evening, where they said the following, that they announced to all the Arabs and they handed out literature all over that tomorrow this intersection, this crossing, it's called the Kerem Shalom crossing, near Gaza, near Egypt, near Israel. It will be closed tomorrow. Be closed. Very interesting. Why is it closed? At 10:30, a half hour later, the tunnels were destroyed. So once again, at 10 o'clock, there was a message on the loudspeakers. There was a message that was given out to the Arabs of Gaza that for the next day, for tomorrow, this crossing, the Kerem Shalom crossing, will be closed. Like, duh. So the Arabs understood that it's probably a good idea to get out of that tunnel. So this way, this is Israel's way, that that nobody is in the tunnel, and they're just destroying as if the tunnels are the problem and not the people that are building the tunnels or the people that are perpetrating terror against the Jewish people. The problem is the cement over there. So this way, unbelievable, instead of killing potential Jew killers, it's more important for Israel to make sure that there's no terrorists in that tunnel. Not only that, this past October, there was a tunnel that was blown up, and there happened to be various big-name terrorists in that tunnel. And then Israel apologized that they had no intention and they didn't know that there were any people in that tunnel. And they apologized for the fact that people were killed. It's an amazing thing. This goes along with the present chief of staff. The President Chief of Staff was quoted at the beginning of the year saying, "We do not follow the Talmud policy of those that come to kill us, we will kill you first." We do not follow that policy. I mean, can you imagine sending your kid into this army of this monster? I mean, they are endangering our children, our lives, in order to be merciful to the enemy. Not only that, they have this phrase that they like to throw out. They think it's cute. It's called knock on your door or knock on your roof policy. What's it called? Knock on the roof or knock on your door? What happens is when Israel wants to destroy